Welcome back to Top 5. In the heart of a dimly lit abandoned warehouse, two worlds collided in a way that no one could have anticipated. James P. Sullivan, the towering blue monster known as Sully from Monsters Incorporated, found himself drawn into the human realm through a mysterious rift pulsing with energy. The portal had opened unexpectedly, and before he knew it, he was standing in a place that felt both familiar and alien. On the other side, Matt Murdock, the man known as Daredevil, had been tracking strange energy signatures emanating from the warehouse. His heightened senses tingled with unease as he stepped into the massive structure, the scent of rust and decay heavy in the air. Little did he know that he was about to face an opponent unlike any he had encountered before. As Sully stepped through the portal, he felt a shiver run down his spine. Instinctively, he crouched low, his sharp claws digging into the concrete floor. The ambient sounds of the warehouse echoed, and he could sense something lurking in the shadows. With his imposing size and distinctive blue fur, he was used to intimidating foes, but this felt different. "Who dares to disturb my territory?" Sully bellowed, his voice a deep rumble that reverberated off the walls. "Not your territory, friend," a calm yet firm voice replied from the darkness. "I'm Daredevil. And you're not in the right place." With that, the fight began. Daredevil sprang from the shadows, a blur of motion as he launched himself towards Sully, aiming a precise kick to the monster's midsection. Sully barely had time to react as the kick landed, the force pushing him back a few steps. The sheer audacity of the attack took him by surprise, but he quickly regained his footing, a low growl escaping his throat. "You think you can take me down that easily?" Sully replied, his confidence bolstered by his size. He charged forward, his massive frame barreling toward Daredevil. The hero was quick, rolling to the side just in time to avoid being flattened. Daredevil's agility was his greatest asset. He darted around Sully, delivering a series of rapid punches and kicks that connected with the monster's tough hide. Sully grunted with each blow, his blue fur absorbing much of the impact, but he could feel the strength behind Daredevil's attacks. The monster was impressed by the hero's speed and tenacity. "Faster than I expected," Sully admitted, his respect for his opponent growing. "But you'll need more than speed to take me down." With a roar, Sully swung one massive arm, attempting to swat Daredevil like a fly. The hero ducked and weaved, narrowly escaping the crushing blow. Each strike Sully launched was more powerful than the last, but Daredevil's agility allowed him to evade, using the environment to create distance and regain his footing. But then, Sully changed his strategy. He began to use the warehouse to his advantage, smashing crates and debris to create obstacles. The sound of splintering wood echoed through the air as he threw his weight into the fight, sending shards flying toward Daredevil. Matt was forced to react quickly, dodging the debris while keeping his focus on Sully. "Impressive tactics for a big guy," Daredevil quipped, his voice steady despite the chaos. "But you can't just brute force your way through this." Sully smirked, realizing this was turning into a battle of wits as much as a test of strength. He feigned a charge to the left, only to pivot and attempt a surprise attack from the right. The move caught Daredevil off guard, and Sully's massive paw connected with the hero's side, sending him crashing against the wall. Daredevil winced at the impact, but he would not back down. Using all his strength, he pushed himself off the ground and sprang back into action. He could feel the adrenaline coursing through him as he focused on the sound of Sully's heavy breathing, the rhythm steady and powerful. "All right, let's see how you handle this," Daredevil shouted, launching himself at Sully again. This time, he aimed for the monster's legs, hoping to take him off balance. He swept low, landing a kick to Sully's knee, which made the creature stumble slightly. But Sully quickly regained his posture, retaliating with a powerful kick that sent Daredevil flying back. The two fighters were now evenly matched, each testing the limits of the other's abilities. Sully was relentless, using his size and strength to dominate the battlefield, while Daredevil relied on his agility and combat skills to evade and strike back. As the fight intensified, both began to tire. Sully's massive muscles were starting to ache, and he could feel the bruises forming from Daredevil's precise strikes. On the other hand, Matt was breathing heavily, his energy waning as he continued to dodge the monster's powerful swings. "Enough games!" Sully roared, his patience wearing thin. He decided to end this fight once and for all. With a deep breath, he summoned all his strength and launched himself at Daredevil, his massive form a blur of blue fur and fury. Daredevil sensed the impending attack, his heightened senses screaming at him. In a split-second decision, he dropped to the ground, rolling under Sully's midsection. As the monster flew overhead, Matt quickly regained his footing and turned to face his opponent. Sully crashed into a stack of crates, sending debris flying everywhere. The impact was monumental, and for a moment, it seemed that the monster might be down. But Sully, refusing to be defeated, roared with determination as he pulled himself from the wreckage, his eyes blazing with fury. "Is that all you've got?" he challenged, his voice echoing through the warehouse. "I've faced worse than you." Daredevil, now fully aware of the stakes, felt a surge of adrenaline. He knew that if he didn't end this soon, Sully would overpower him. He charged, using the momentum to his advantage, and executed a series of acrobatic flips to gain height. As he soared through the air, he aimed a powerful kick straight for Sully's head. The kick connected, and Sully staggered back, his vision blurred from the impact. But before he could fully recover, Daredevil pressed the attack, launching into a flurry of strikes, each one landing with precision. Sully fought back, swinging wildly, but Matt's agility allowed him to evade each strike, dancing around the monster with grace. Finally, with one last desperate move, Daredevil delivered a powerful uppercut that sent Sully crashing to the ground. The impact shook the warehouse as the monster landed heavily, the floor trembling beneath him. Breathing heavily, Daredevil stood over Sully, his heart racing as he prepared for what he thought would be the final blow. "It's over, Sully," he declared, his voice steady despite the chaos surrounding them. "You fought bravely, but I can't let you continue." Sully, panting and battered, looked up at the hero. There was no anger in his eyes, only a begrudging respect. "You're stronger than I thought, Daredevil," he admitted, his voice a low rumble. "But know this, I fight for a reason. I protect my world, just as you protect yours." Daredevil paused, considering Sully's words. While he had fought hard and emerged victorious, he couldn't shake the feeling that they were not so different. Both were warriors in their own right, fighting for the ones they cared about. In that moment of clarity, Daredevil extended a hand to Sully, not in defeat, but in camaraderie. "Let's make sure we both get home to those we protect," he said. "There's no need for more violence." Sully, recognizing the strength in Daredevil's character, accepted the gesture. "Agreed. But don't think I'll go easy on you next time," he chuckled, his spirit unbroken. As they helped each other to their feet, the warehouse around them began to shift and change, the rift that had brought Sully into this world pulsing with energy once more. They exchanged a final nod, warriors united in understanding, before stepping through the portal together, returning to their respective worlds, forever changed by their clash. In the end, it was Daredevil who stood as the victor of the battle, but it was Sully who walked away with newfound respect for his opponent. Both had fought fiercely, but they had emerged stronger for it, ready to face whatever challenges awaited them in their separate realms. Their fight had been one of survival, but it was their shared understanding that would resonate long after the battle was over.